Hey everybody, thank you for watching another episode of Ducks Quacks at SPC 11. And this is the very first episode I've got for you here in Anaheim, California. Very fortunate, so today's the pre-conference day. In fact, there's 3 pre-conferences going on. Very fortunate to have Arpan Shah, director with the project group, and the session's going well, isn't it?
It is, it's packed.
How many people do we have?
50 or 60.
50?
And it's Sunday morning, and there's Disneyland right next door, so that's pretty impressive.
That's a good thing. I know, Arpan, you come from a SharePoint background. So it's been what? The product's been out 10, 11 years formally, I guess?
SharePoint?
Yeah.
Even longer.
Longer, huh?
Yeah, I mean, SharePoint started with Site Server, I think in the 90s. And then SharePoint 2001, 2003. So you're right, with the 2001 version, it's been 10 years.
So Arpan, you've been with the SharePoint team for 7 years, and then now you're leading the project team. So being with the project team for over a year now, any insightful revelations, or what's your observations between the two products and the industry in general?
Yeah, so I tell everyone that project is just part of the family.
Okay.
So project server is built on top of SharePoint server, so it's an advanced workload is one way to think about it. And the client integrates with SharePoint. So in many ways, it was a very natural move for me. The people are very passionate, so there's a big similarity there. Project managers are a great bunch. They're always giving me feedback, and then I always remind them that product feedback is good, but it's how you use a product. It's something I learned from Ducks.
Oh, there you go.
But it's been great, absolutely fantastic.
So you talk about integration. I've seen a lot of the ads and campaigns around SharePoint project, better together, that kind of thing. So if we were in an elevator right now, right, you introduce each other and you say,
Sure.
Arpan Shah, SharePoint project. If you're going to give me an elevator speech of this better together story, what would that sound like?
I would basically say, look, if you want to get started, SharePoint and Excel are great for managing projects like tasks and lists and what have you. But if you're looking to manage your resources better, if you're looking to get more productive, if you're looking to schedule, boy, just take all that content, in one click, bring it into project and get going.
Wow.
So you can really just expand your value very, very easily with one click.
So you don't have to redo it, copy it again?
Not at all. In fact, you can bring all your tasks in, you can use it in project, you can use it on timeline view, you can schedule, and then sync it back all seamlessly. And that's SharePoint on premises or SharePoint in Office 365.
Oh, wow, okay. So that means just to kind of step through that scenario. If I'm a project manager, I have Microsoft Project My Desktop.
That's right.
I tweak the schedule, I push it out. My team members can update their time or whatever directly on a SharePoint project task list.
That's right. They can view the task, they can update the task, and when they update it, the project manager actually gets the updates in project.
Wow.
So it all happens seamlessly. And that's just the client. So if you're an organization, if you want to manage portfolios, if you want to look at your projects, if you want to prioritize, if you want to select, basically if you want to get more structure from all the collaboration you have with SharePoint, Project Server fits right on top of SharePoint. So just some great light-up value.
So you talk about the client. How big is the penetration of Project Client? Like, how many people are using this?
It's big. I mean, Microsoft Project, there are over 20 million users.
Wow, 20 million, that's a lot.
A lot of users.
Yeah.
And in fact, everyone I talk to, when they ask me which group do you work for, I say, well, I run the MS Project product management team. I actually say MS Project because when you say project product management team, yes, what projects?
MS Project. MS Project, okay.
And almost everyone I speak to has used Project in some way or form.
Wow.
What they haven't always seen is Project 2010. So with the new UI, with the timeline view, very, very easy to get started. And again, that rich integration with SharePoint.
You were telling me a story about on the airplane, right? You showed somebody, like somebody was asking you about project, and you showed them somebody sitting next to you.
Yeah. Sometimes you joke around and say, it's not your grandfather's project.
That's right.
So most people have seen Project maybe in 2003, 2007. They've used it, they've said it's complex, I need something easier. And that's exactly what we did with Project 2010. So Project 2010, you can get started. It's just like Excel. You can start adding things into the list. You don't even have to have scheduling on.
Sure.
And then when you're ready to kind of have Project help you organize and assign resources, you can step through that process separately.
Okay.
So I showed someone on the plane. In fact, I was using Project to, I hate to admit it, but to plan a vacation.
Oh, that's good.
So plan a multiple trip.
Yeah.
And I was using it for that. And clearly I'm a little biased, but I showed my wife the timeline view, and she got it right away. So it's easy.
She didn't say you're too much. You're bringing work home.
She did initially, but then once she saw the timeline view, she's like, "Oh wow, that's really cool."
Well, what about Project Server? tell us about Project Server. How does it look like in the industry today? There's a lot of great stories out there, case studies.
So Project Server, again, built on top of SharePoint, so that's great. Tens of thousands of organizations have deployed Project Server, so big adoption. We are one of the leaders in PPM, so we got one of the highest, actually the highest rating. 5 vendors got it. We've got a strong positive on the Gartner market scope, which is a big deal.
Sure.
That kind of defines, from an analyst perspective, where the market is going. It provides unified project and portfolio management, something that's new in 2010. So before we had Project Server, Portfolio Server, we kind of all brought it back together. And from a user experience perspective, a lot of customers tell me, Arpan, this looks exactly like SharePoint. And when they say that, I feel like we've done our job because it feels and looks exactly like it. So again, very easy to mature right into the product.
Great. Well, it's exciting with with Momentum, SharePoint, and Project Server, and just like this week, we've got 7,000 people, or a little over 7,000 people attending. And today, a pre-conference and project conference coming up too, right?
That's right. Project conference in March 2012 in Phoenix. So again, we're inviting all project managers, BDMs, TDMs, anyone who has anything to do with Microsoft Project to come by. Also, one of the interesting momentum stats is since the launch of 2010, we've sold a copy, this is just the desktop, a copy of the desktop under 20 seconds.
So we just sold 10.
That's, yeah, depending on the math.
Right.
Probably a little bit more.
Good.
Or depending on how you edit the video.
Sure, that's right.
But yeah, it's been a hot product.
Good.
And we're continuously innovating, whether it's service packs or partners or training or content. It's a vibrant community. We have 20 million users, so it's kind of humbling to be able to build a product and have people use it.
So what are you looking forward to this week? Any party specifically?
No, I'm only here for a couple days, unfortunately, so I have to head back. My schedule tells me I have to go back. So
you're not going to Disneyland?
No, I'm not. I wish. You know what? I wish I could. Maybe next time.
Good. Well, thank you. Thank you for your time. And again, folks, good stuff. You're going to learn more about Microsoft projects. Go to Microsoft.com/project. And other than that, you can catch Arpan on Twitter. Right?
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of the conference. Yeah.